the prophetess, judge, and leader who inspired a nation. In the midst of turmoil, at a time when Israel was fractured, oppressed, and desperately in need of strong leadership, a remarkable figure emerged, a woman named Deborah. She was a prophetess, a judge, and a leader who changed the course of history. This is her story, a tale of faith, courage, and how a single person's wisdom can inspire an entire nation. Today, we unearth the life and legacy of Deborah, exploring an era of deep conflict, the powerful role she played, and the timeless lessons we can draw from her extraordinary leadership. To understand Deborah's story, we must first journey back to ancient Israel, a time known as the Era of the Judges. It was a chaotic period where the tribes of Israel struggled to unify under a single leader. Instead, they were governed sporadically by judges, individuals chosen by God to guide the people temporarily. However, this was no peaceful time. For 2 decades, the Israelites lived in fear under the cruel oppression of the Canaanite king, Jabin, and his ruthless commander, Sisera. Armed with an overwhelming military advantage, including 900 iron chariots, Sisera's forces dominated the region, leaving Israel in despair. The tribes were disjointed, their spirit crushed, until Deborah rose as a beacon of hope. Deborah was unlike any other leader. Living under the shade of a palm tree, she served as a judge and counselor, guiding her people with wisdom. People sought her counsel, traveling from distant villages for her fair judgment. But Deborah was more than just a judge. She was also a prophetess. She had a divine connection to God, receiving messages meant to guide Israel in moments of crisis. Her role was unique, not only because she was a woman in a patriarchal society, but because her authority came directly from her immense wisdom and spiritual insight. The people admired and trusted her. In Deborah's time, fear of Sisera was palpable. As commander of an undefeated Canaanite army, his reputation inspired dread. His chariots of iron symbolized power, dominance, and the impossibility of resistance. Each passing year under his rule deepened Israel's oppression and fractured their hope. The people's despair became a collective cry for deliverance. It was against this backdrop of suffering that Deborah received a divine revelation, a call to rise and challenge Sisera's forces. Inspired by her vision, Deborah did not hesitate. She summoned Barak, a warrior from the tribe of Naphtali, and revealed God's plan. Barak was to rally 10,000 men and lead them into battle against Sisera on Mount Tabor. She assured him that God would deliver victory into their hands. But Barak hesitated. The enormity of the task was daunting, and he voiced his own doubts, saying, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you do not go with me, I will not go." His condition shows both Barak's belief in Deborah's divine authority and the hesitation rooted in human fear. Deborah agreed to accompany him, but made a striking prophecy. The victory would not be credited to Barak, but to a woman. Together, Deborah and Barak rallied an army of 10,000 men from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun. A remarkable feat in itself, this gathering displayed how Deborah's leadership had inspired unity in a deeply fragmented nation. The men, motivated by her confidence and faith, marched under her directives, ready to face an enemy that had seemed invincible for decades. As Israel's forces prepared for confrontation, Deborah's unwavering conviction served as a guidepost. She reminded the troops that the battle was already determined by God. Her leadership infused their hearts with courage as they prepared to face Sisera's mighty forces. The battle commenced at Mount Tabor, where Sisera's army stood, confident in its technological advantage. Commanding iron chariots and armed warriors, he faced an Israelite army armed with nothing but courage, faith, and simple weapons. At Deborah's command, the Israelites attacked. But then something miraculous happened. Heavy rains caused the battlefield to flood, a divine intervention that rendered Sisera's chariots useless, bogging them down in thick mud. Seizing the moment, Barak's forces overcame the previously unbeatable Canaanite army. Chaos swept through Sisera's troops, and the Israelites claimed a decisive victory. It was a triumph no one had thought possible, one clearly guided by God's hand as foretold by Deborah. However, Sisera himself escaped the battlefield, fleeing on foot. His path brought him to the tent of Jael, a woman from a nomadic tribe. Sisera sought refuge, believing her tribe to be neutral in the conflict. Jael welcomed him with apparent hospitality, offering a place to rest. But when Sisera fell into a deep sleep, Jael acted decisively. Using a tent peg and hammer, she killed the enemy commander, delivering the final blow to Israel's oppressor. Just as Deborah had prophesied, the victory over Sisera was secured by the hand of a woman. Jael's unexpected bravery underscores how courage and quick thinking can change the course of history, regardless of one's position or resources. Following the victory, Deborah and Barak sang a song of celebration, known as El Cántico de Deborah. This remarkable piece of poetry is one of the oldest texts in the Bible, highlighting not only the miraculous victory, but also the collaborative efforts that made it possible. The song praises God's power, remembers the bravery of the warriors, and celebrates Jael's pivotal role. But most importantly, it serves as a reminder that the triumph came from unity and faith. It echoes themes of justice and divine intervention that resonate through Deborah's story. Deborah is remembered as one of the greatest leaders of ancient Israel. Her courage and wisdom saved her people in their darkest hour, but her influence extended far beyond the battlefield. She was a woman who broke barriers, proving that leadership is not defined by gender, but by the strength of one's convictions. Deborah's ability to inspire and guide her people during a time of such despair makes her story a timeless example of effective and compassionate leadership. Her legacy as both a spiritual and political leader demonstrates the profound impact that faith and wisdom can have in uniting a nation. Deborah's story holds relevance even in today's world. Here are some of the key lessons we can draw from her life. The power of faith. Deborah's deep trust in God allowed her to lead with confidence, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Faith offers strength in adversity. Leadership knows no boundaries. Despite the societal norms of her time, Deborah rose to leadership through her wisdom and effectiveness, reminding us that true leadership transcends traditional limitations. Collaboration is key. Deborah, Barak, and Jael each played essential roles in securing Israel's victory. Deborah's ability to bring people together was instrumental, teaching us the importance of teamwork. Courage is infectious. Deborah's unwavering bravery inspired a nation to believe in itself again. Leadership often requires instilling confidence in others. The impact of justice and wisdom. Deborah's emphasis on justice and fairness earned her the trust of her people. Wise leadership is grounded in serving others. The story of Deborah is more than just a historical account. It is an enduring lesson in courage, faith, and the power of inspired leadership. She stood firm in her convictions, guided her people with wisdom, and led them to victory against impossible odds. Her legacy reminds us that even in the gravest circumstances, one person can ignite a spark of hope and bring about transformative change. As a leader, counselor, and prophetess, Deborah continues to stand as a symbol of resilience and inspiration for all who seek to make a difference in times of struggle. Let Deborah's story inspire you to face your challenges with courage and to lead others with wisdom and unwavering faith.